Hello, good morning everyone. And today I would like to discuss about Paul Simon's famous poem, The Sound of Silence. The Sound of Silence. You know, there is sound in silence. Silence speaks in itself. Remember, the title is quite paradoxical. The poem composed by Paul Simon. Okay. In this poem, Paul Simon, the poet, shows his bitter dissatisfactions towards the tendency of multinational company and capital market system. Okay, he is not satisfied with the money making tendency, making methods of capitalist society. Okay, yes, due to in order to earn money in a capitalist society, captures the mind of consumer. Consumers are not free to think about their choice. Okay, they are given limited space to think. Okay, is what we have to serve is industrialist desire. We have to serve to their desires. We are not free. Okay, so probably that's why Simon Paul may have said, this silence grows like cancers. This here, silence is symbolized here. This is the symbol of advertisement that the modern business people use in order to earn money. Okay, yes, let's discuss about it stanza wisely. Hello darkness, my old friend, I have come to talk with you again because a vision softly creeping left its shades while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in the brain still remains within the sound of silence. Okay, you can see the lines in your book also. The speaker addresses to the darkness. He says, in darkness is his old friend. Every time when he has a dream, he says it to his old friend in darkness. This time too, he is sharing his dream to the darkness. When the speaker was sleeping, a vision entered into his mind and left seeds into his brain, and which he still realizes, he still remembers. Okay, that is in the sound of silence. This is silent, but it has lots of things to be spoken. Okay, remember. Now next stanza. In restless dreams, I walked alone in narrow streets of the cobble stone. Neath the hollow of street lamp, I turned my cola to the cool and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of neon light that split the night and tossed the sound of silence. Now, in this stanza, the speaker says what is his dream. He describes his dream. Okay, in his dream, he is wandering. He is walking through the narrow street of town. This is the time of night. Suddenly, he happens to stops at the junctions, and when he turns his head, okay, his eyes are suddenly caught by the flashlight of neon light. Okay, by the flash of neon light. Remember, his eyes are dazzled by the flash of light. Okay, he felt you know, as if it was daytime. Actually, it was night. His eyes are caught. He feels dazzled. He could not see well due to the extreme light. Remember, everywhere there is a light. There is flashlight. There is shining light. That light has torn the night. Remember, that has divided the night. Remember, okay. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of neon light, his eyes are stabbed, caught, dazzled by the neon light. That split the night. That flashlight, shining light has divided the night. Remember, and tossed the sound of silence. And remember, yes, it has tossed the sound of silence. Okay, yes, it remains in the sound of silence. And in the naked light, I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never share. No one dare disturb the sound of silence. Remember, when his eyes are caught by flashlight at night. In the street of town, he sees a crowd of people, maybe more than 10,000 people were there. He saw a crowd of people. Okay, their number was might be more than 10,000. He saw people more than 10,000. Very interesting here. They seem to be talking without speaking. They seem to be hearing without listening. Remember, this is very important. Okay, and there is no sound, but silent letters were there everywhere. They were thrown by flashlight. Okay, they were shown on the board of advertisements. Everywhere words in sentence were written. Okay, yes, through the light. Because of the light, with the help of light, he saw thousands of people there. Okay, they seemed to be talking without speaking. They seemed to be hearing without listening. There is difference between listening and hearing. In listening there is understanding. In speaking there is sound. Okay, so yes, it happened in silence. Everything happened in silence at the night. People hearing without listening, people writing songs. Remember, people have written lots of songs, but they were never sung. They were never shared. No one was singing there. Okay, they were written. There was no sound of song. Yes, on the board of advertisements, some rhymes were there, but they were silent. Remember, no one was singing them. No one dared disturb the sound of silence. Thousands of people were there. Remember, all people accepted this world. No one had courage to raise finger against it. All people were very docile to follow, very weak, vulnerable to accept what the flashlight shows. Remember, fools, said I, you do not know silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. But my words like silent raindrops fell and echoed in the well of silence. Brother and sister, very interesting line. Here the speaker wants to the crowd of people who were accepting the world of neon light. Okay, world of advertisements. Okay, he warned them. He said, this is mistaken life. You should not believe it. Okay, once you believe it, and you are not, free, your freedom is looted away. You cannot have free desire. So do not follow this path. He gives warning to the crowd of people, but his words do not reach to the ear of people. Okay, they simply the words, his words, spoken warning words, drop like the rain, and they made a echo into the lake. Remember, okay, no one listens his warning, no one obeys his warning. Okay, his words are meaningless. No one listens it. Remember there. And these people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made. Remember, instead of listening the warning of speaker, the people of the world of this, the people of the world of advertisements, just keep on worshipping their neon god, their new god. That they have made. They have created a new god, and they kept on praying, worshipping the god. No one bothered to listen to his warning. Okay, his words became vain, disappeared without bringing results. Okay, and the people bowed and prayed. Okay, तिनीहरूले पूजा गरिरहे आफ्नै संसारको, आफ्नै दुनियाँको यो एडभर्टिजमेन्ट्स मानिरहे। अनि के अरे कविका कुरा कसैले पनि सुनेन, वार्निङ कसैले पनि सुनेन। यो हेर क्यान्सर जस्तो हो, यस साइलेन्स इज लाइक क्यान्सर, यु सुड नट बिलिभ इट। ओके, इट करप्ट्स आवर माइन्ड, वी डु नट ह्याभ फ्री चोइस। ओके, वी शुड चुज, वी शुड ह्याभ फ्री opinion, to choose what we need in our life. Okay, so do not follow them. If we follow them, once we follow them, then we are in a trap. Okay, we will have limited freedom. Okay, we have to accept things determined by producers. अनि तिनीहरूले बनाएको कुराहरू मात्रै चाहिँ हामीले खानुपर्ने, हामीले स्वतन्त्र हुनुपर्छ। हाम्रो माइन्डले चाहिँ त्यसले करप्ट गरिदिन्छ, त्यसैले हामीले यसलाई त्यति विश्वास नगरौँ, त्यो कुरा त्यो दुनियाँ छोडिदिउँ हामी, होइन? हामी आध्यात्मिक जगततिर आउँ, हामी अनि पैसाको दुनियाँलाई चाहिँ छोडिदिउँ, पैसा मात्रै सबै कुरा होइन भनेर चाहिँ उनले भन्दाखेरि कसैले सुनेनन्। बट ती मान्छेहरूले चाहिँ आफ्नो देवी, आफ्नो देवता, नयाँ देवता जुन एडभर्टिजमेन्ट्स हो, न्युन लाइट हो, त्यो देवतालाई पूजा गरिरहे अनि गीत अनि भजन गाइरहे। एन्ड द साइन फ्ल्यास्ड आउट इट्स वार्निङ इन द वर्ड्स द्याट इट वाज फर्मिङ, एन्ड द साइन सेड द वर्ड्स अफ prophets are written on the wall, on the subway, walls and tenement halls, and whispered in the sound of silence. Brother and sister, when they are without, when the writer, when the speaker says you should not follow this the world of neon light. Okay, you should not worship the neon light. Okay, no one listens. Okay, they keep on worshipping and praying the neon light, and there continue coming warning words. This is the these are the words of prophets. Okay, these are the words of prophets written on the wall. Okay, everywhere words are coming on the wall of tenement house, old house, and subway walls. Okay, on the walls of subway and in tenement house, the words are coming, advertisements are coming. Okay, yes, Remember, the world is going on, and tenement halls and whispered in the sound of silence. Okay, and remember, there is a sound of silence. Remember, we can the speaker can listen the sound of silence. Okay, it means how they are planning. They are planning to capture the thought of consumers. Okay, the speaker listens it, though it was not spoken there. Remember. Okay, so in this way, the writer shows his bitter dissatisfactions towards materialist uh, towards materialist life of modern people in this poem. Multinational company and capitalist market place make lots of advertisements and place everywhere in the town is an attempt to capture the mind of consumers. Okay, yes, this is like Kansas. We won't have free thought. Our critical mind is captured by advertisements. Thank you. For comment, please go to comment box and write down there. And if you have any questions, you can leave there. And furthermore, if you want me to speak about a topic, then yes, you can mention there, and I will bring it. I will speak on it next time. Till then, thank you. Have a nice day.